Morning, friends. Happy Friday. Wanted to make sure my audio was working. My laptop is making that loud fan sound again. Last time that happened, I lost the audio at the beginning of my recording, so I guess we're good so far. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm Diane, and thanks for hopping on with me. It's Friday, so we are going to play today a little bit. And one of the techniques that we've talked about playing with is alcohol ink, and so that's what we're going to do today. I've used alcohol inks and made backgrounds in the past, but I want to try a couple of new things today. So I'll save those until we get through making some backgrounds, because if you don't like watching some experimental stuff and you're looking more for just a tutorial, then you'll be able to just get through the tutorial part of it and then move on with your day. You don't have to stick around and watch the other stuff. One of the things that I like to do when I'm using alcohol ink is add some foil, and we talked about that last week when we did some foiling with the Mink hot foil machine. And if you weren't able to watch that video, I have added the link below in the description, and I used that glassine bag and made a little just a little treat bag here. Added the foil butterfly and those little foil swirlies that we did on camera. And this is the one we had foiled some green and then die cut those out and made a butterfly. Foiled the little sentiment strips. So that was the other card. And that's just on plain Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper cardstock in the background. And this is the one that we had done with the, we used embossing paste, maybe, modeling paste, and then foiled over top of it. No, it was that foil paste by Mink. That was it, and we used it through a stencil and then foiled on top of that. Add a little bit of foil. I had just die cut a piece of silver cardstock and layered it behind my greeting, again on some Stampin' Up! Designer paper. And then this was the first one that I had done. Oh, my hands are so dry. I had die cut this little branch out of a foiled piece of paper and just added it and a foiled sentiment onto some cardstock as well. So if you were interested in any of the Mink foiling, you can go back and check that video out. Oh, get there and don't fall on the floor. So when we're using alcohol ink, and I know there are videos out there that show you how to make your own alcohol ink, and I might try to do that one day, not today because I have enough colors here that it should keep me busy for a while. Alcohol ink is fun because we can make it move. If we try to do that movement on regular cardstock, it's going to just soak into the paper and we won't be able to make it move, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the fun. You may as well just use your regular pigment ink and your brushes and do some shading on there. So one of the things that you need to use is synthetic paper, and this is Yupo paper or Yupo paper. I don't really know the right way to say it. I call it Yupo. And another thought that I had, and I pulled out, and this will be part of our experimental part today, when I get ink refills for my printer, I tend to get a bunch of these glossy photo cards from Canon, and I don't typically print my pictures out, and if I do, I'm printing them on regular copy paper because I want to add them into my little journals. So I have all these glossy papers, right? And so I'm thinking alcohol ink may work on those too. So when we use alcohol ink, we have a variety of colors. I have pearl inks, which have a little bit of a pearlescent shimmer to them. I have regular alcohol ink, which is just a colored ink. And we have some, oh, that's a pearl, you go over there. We have some alloys. These are just metallic looking alcohol inks. And these are Tim Holtz. And they have a little bit of a metallic shimmer to them. And you do have to make sure that those are blended really well, because you can see the sediment in the bottom here, and that's your metallic part of it. So it takes a few minutes to get those blended. So if you're going to use those, you want to get shaking them before you're ready. This is another one of those projects where if you're going to get all this stuff out, you may as well plan on making a couple cards. I wouldn't do all this to just do one background, one card. You need a brayer for the second part. You do need alcohol blending solution. This is what moves the ink around on your paper. Tim Holtz also has this little air blower tool so that you can blow the ink around if you want to. You can also use a heat gun on a cool setting, because this is a synthetic paper. If you get it too hot, you can make it crinkle up or warp. So we don't want to get it too hot. But alcohol blending solution and ink. Those are what we need to start and make our background. Now there might be some areas, and I'm trying to tell you this now because when I turn on my heat gun, it's a little bit louder. And I'll apologize for that now, because I'll have to holler over top of it. When you get the ink on here, there might be some little parts of it that are thicker and stay sticky. You can either fix those by adding some more blending solution and getting that ink to move around again. Or you can do what I like to do, and I'm hoping I have some of those sticky spots. Watch me not be able to get them today. I want to use some of those foil scraps that we talked about and put that on my sticky part and add some metallic to my background. So these Yupo papers that I use, I will most times just use them as a card background, and half the time they come out so pretty, all I have to do is add a sentiment and maybe a couple little rhinestones or pearls or something on the front, and that's my whole card. But what happens if you want to stamp on it? Sometimes we have to use an ink to stamp with that is going to dry on your synthetic paper. So if you're going to use like a pigment ink, there's a chance it could smear. Also, on top of the alcohol, it might not stand out so well. So I have a variety of different ink pads here. I have some pigment ink. I have the Delicata ink that Stampin' Up used to sell, but I think mine are pretty well dried up. We'll see. I do have VersaFine ink. I'll use some of that, and we have some StazOn. So we'll get started first with adding the alcohol ink and creating a background. This is an alcohol ink pad with a little felt pad. We can add blending solution to this and move the ink around on our paper, or we can add other color and add it into our background as well. So I think I'm going to start with some aqua, some cool pearl, and because I'm in the mood for some bunnies and some springtime scene, so, oh, those are my pearls. I was trying not to use those. And let me see, so if I put some blue in the sky and some green grass, let's try botanical, and then I might add in some little purple if this, I think I had also, where my purples just go? Oh, because it was a pearl. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens with this one, because this, I think, if I remember right, this is pretty light. I'm going to start by just adding some drops of alcohol ink to my Yupo paper. And we can either put all of the ink on here together with the blending solution and move it around, or we can do it by color. So let's do both. We'll do this one first by color, or I'm sorry, putting them all on here at the same time as I'm dumping more ink on here. Oops, a little squirt out there. And some of the little purple. Ooh, that came out quick too. Alright, then we have to add our blending solution. Oh, I forgot this is tight. Open. And this is what's going to move the ink. It takes quite a bit of the blending solution, so don't be afraid of it. And now I'm going to use my heat gun on a cool setting and move that ink around, hopefully before it dries too much. Oh, I did forget to mention, because I smell it now, you do want to have some ventilation in your room. This is alcohol, and so it is going to smell. If you don't like the little lines, just use your blending solution and break it up. It'll get rid of those. I don't really care. I like them. This is turning a little too muddy down here for me. I did want a little bit more purple in there, but I'm just not sure I'm going to get that. So let's see. Let's get some more green on the bottom. Great, not bad. Okay with that. I do have a little bit of white space up there. Let's see if I can get some more blue mixed in that. And then we will add a little bit of foil, because I think I made some sticky spots like I wanted to. Oops, sorry. A little carried away there. Yay. And so these are some of the cool backgrounds. Every one of them is going to be different. It will be virtually impossible to duplicate the background. So if you like it, enjoy it, because you're probably not going to be able to make a second one like it. I'm going to dry it a little bit more here. And then I'm going to use some of those foil scraps that I had. and putting them foil side up, I should be able to smear some of that into the ink, and when I peel it off, my little bits of foil, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see, if the camera's going to pick up that foil that just kind of sits in the ink, and I love that effect. Might not be what you're going for, so don't add foil. But this is where all of these little scraps come in handy, because we're not really filling in a whole area. We're just adding the little bits and pieces. I like this. I really enjoy the foil being in there. See that purple? I should. Now I have some, oh, this is dark blue. I don't know if I want dark blue up there. Oh, I do have purple. I have a tiny little cut on my one finger, and I might as well have a cast on that finger. It's made it so sore. Oh my goodness. And do I have a white or blue? I do. Light blue scrap. Now, wouldn't this be pretty just to stamp and die cut one of your images out that you like from one of your stamp sets? Of course, this is bigger than just a regular 4 1/4 by a 5 1/2 inch card, so you'd have to trim down the area that you want. You could add your die cut and a little greeting. I'm going to set that one aside to dry. I love it. I really like alcohol ink. It makes such pretty designs. And it didn't take long. Look at that. Just a few minutes and we have a beautiful background. So I'm going to do another one. Let's do this one on the glossy cardstock and see if it works. To bring in some baby wipes because it makes my craft mat a little sticky. I'd rather have it on the craft mat than on my table though, so it's okay. All right. Let's do, where'd it go? This one. How about we'll do some pinks and, now remember if I add reds and yellows, I'm going to get oranges. So there's a peach Bellini. Oh, I keep going to those pearl ones. Boy, I really want to do that, don't I? Salmon and lemonade. Let's just try some of those. I don't know which one's darker, the salmon or the peach. I was going to say we could do this by color. I'm guessing this is going to be the lighter one. Add a little blending solution and move it around. Add some peach Bellini to the bottom. That salmon's pretty light. Some lemonade here on the top part of it. Maybe we'll add a little bit of a pinky red towards it. Ooh, that would be good, and we could use this maybe for a Valentine. Look at that, like a work of art. This is the salmon again. This is really very light, the salmon. I don't know how well that'll show up. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty light. Can you see where the blending solution dropped onto the red right there and made some cute little circles like polka dots? That's kind of pretty. So that's an idea. Let's see what happens when we just use some blending solution. Move some of our ink, and I'm not sure I like that. Not particularly. But that's okay, because then we just take the blending solution and move it around again. I don't know if I like that textury look that it put on there. I guess it's okay, huh? You can always put foil on it. Yeah, where did I just throw all that foil? I know there was that rose, not you, that rosy one. Okay, I like it now. Cool. How cool. Yes. Not sure how well these are showing up on camera. Move my light over a little bit and see if that helps at all. That one's pretty too. Yay. Okay, that's two backgrounds. Alright. So now the mountain's pretty sticky now. So now I want to I'm going to do another one, and we're going to lift the ink off of our background and hopefully make a print. Think for a minute here. Do I need my brayer? I don't. Yes, I do. I need it now. Okay. I was going to say not for what we've been doing. So I have some regular cardstock. Actually, that's shimmery cardstock. I can see it. And oh, those were card bases. My Yupo paper is a little bit larger than our card front. So what I should do, I guess, is get a piece of cardstock and cut it the same size as the Yupo. Or I can use, yeah, I have a couple of scraps cut. That'll work. Okay. And I'm trying to get this all set up because once we put the alcohol lift solution on here, I'm going to, first I'm going to do my alcohol background just like we did without the foiling. I'm just going to use color. I'll add some of the lift solution on here and brayer it down over our design. And then I need a piece of cardstock to lay on top of that. We'll smooth it over there and take it off. And this is part of my experimental part now. This is what I have not done, but I have wanted to do. We should have a print. And then actually we'll have two designs. We should have the Yupo design still on here. It'll be a lighter, but it'll still be on the Yupo paper. And then we'll have a reverse image of that on our cardstock. Sounds easy, right? Okay. Let the games begin. I think, let's do brighter colors. We have gumball. I don't want my sleeve in this either. Oh, what's this one? I don't use that often. That's denim, right? Yep, denim. And, oh, you know what? Where's that one? It's called sand. Oh, where are you? Oh, there's butterscotch. That might be pretty. Okay, we'll try that one. We'll try butterscotch. So I think I will start with blue on the top. Ooh, it's dark. A lot of color in that one. And some gumball. And we'll put some butterscotch on the bottom. And we'll just see what happens, right? Only paper. Add blending solution and we'll start moving the ink around. I should keep those out. I should really just keep the lids off. I'm afraid I'm going to spill them so that I can add more as I want more color in certain areas. Okay. Yep, see? What did I do? I just knocked it right over. I think I need to have this completely dry before we use the lift. I can also, maybe that's my mat, I don't want it to get too warm, so dry this off a little bit more. Oh, I wonder if it gets warm up here. Okay, sticky off of here. Hopefully the blue off of my table. Alright, lid's all on. I don't know, did I mention that there is a way, I think I did, that you can make your own alcohol ink with I haven't done it. I think you can use like your re-inkers, add them to little crafty bottles and use alcohol, but I think you have to use that higher percentage of alcohol, which I do have, because why did we use that? I forget what we were using that for. Maybe it was when I did try this technique with pigment ink, and then what did we do? How did we do that? Put ink on glossy paper and then use that alcohol and dropped it or dabbed it on there. Yeah, so I think probably the same thing. Ooh, that's a little wet up there yet. All right, I'll let this one dry and we will lift that one off as soon as it dries. In the meantime, we'll do another one and we'll use the felt pad and add additional color to what we put on here. So if I put a lighter color on here and then maybe add some drops of a darker color and add that to my paper, and this is one of the glossy sheets. I don't know, it feels kind of matte. No, that one's going to work. Feels weird. Here's a glossy one. Oh, that's different. I don't know what that paper is. Okay. Oops. Let's use some of these metallics. Or no, I've been wanting to use the pearl. Let's use pearls. We have purple, mineral. What does that have? Oh, it does. It has a thing in it. Envy, which is a green, blue. Yeah, the pearly ones have to be shaken up as well, but they're really cool. And what I wanted to do was use one of these backgrounds, and like I said, I'm in the mood for some springtime and some bunny rabbits and stuff. And my Lavinia stamps, I will show you. Lavinia stamps, if you like fairies and sort of like mystical world type things, Lavinia stamps has a lot of those. They also make really cute little animals, which is what I always go for. You know, me and the little critters, I love them. So I have a couple. I have a moose stamp. I have some bunnies, and I have a heron. But I'm going to add this. tip's bent. How weird. I would imagine I did that because I'm the only one who uses these. This is Smolder. And we'll add some Celestial. Some of that to the sky. And let's see what we get. All right, let's add some, what do we want to add? How about, let me see, we have gold, rose gold, gunmetal, statue. Mineral. Let's use mineral. See what happens when we just add little dots of ooh, I got some pink on there from before. I probably should have changed my ink pad. Oh, I like that. That's fun. Cool beans. Try and pick this up so you can see how, as I added the felt pad with the mineral ink in there, you can see how it blended into the other colors, creating yet one more different effect. Very pretty. Oh, I guess I should have told you too, if you don't like inky hands or dirty hands, this is probably not something you're going to enjoy. Sorry. I usually have ink on my hands half the time anyway, so I'm good with all that. I like all the shimmer on that from the metallics. That's really neat. Alright, so that one's going to dry. Let me see if the other one's ready that we can do the lift on yet. Maybe. Okay. Okay, so this one, we have just some heavy basic white cardstock. This is my Stampin' Up cardstock. And alcohol lift ink. You can see that. I'm going to add my bead of ink across the top, brayer it down very gently, keeping in mind that as soon as I add this on here, that ink will start moving, and so I need to be ready to go and not do it too many times. Memory serves me correct, because I'll wipe the ink off. And then if I smooth this on here and lift, I should get a print. Okay, fingers crossed, right? Is not receiving enough. Why do I not have anything else on? Are you still? Yeah, you can still see it. I'm getting a big yellow warning on there that it's not receiving enough video. As such, you will experience buffering. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you are experiencing buffering. Apologies, my friends. I don't know where to steal any more power from. Alright, let's take this off and see what happens. It worked! It worked! So this is our print. And this is the original Yupo. And so now, because this is just on plain cardstock, I can stamp on there. I can use whatever ink I have and just stamp right on this. Yay, it worked! So I need to trim out a piece of Actually, I should probably trim this down if I want to use this for a card, right? Let's take some of the brown off at the bottom. 4¼ by 5½. I'll just save that little brown piece. That's kind of big enough to use for something. And then I'll introduce the those stamps so you can see what some of these are. And I think Lavinia stamps are based out of the UK. So if you are interested and you go to order them, it's probably going to take you a day or so before you get them. Don't expect them to arrive tomorrow. Clean off my brayer. because when my video is done, I may continue to play. So Lavinia World, there's the information if you are so inclined to go visit her site. I hope it's coming up clearly. I guess it is buffering a little bit. And I have so much stuff on here to use today. So I kind of thought I wanted to use this little plant and maybe some of the ferns and that. I've used this one a few times too. This is the wishing tree stamp. I like it. Where is my bunny rabbit? I had you out here. Oh, I see. And so these are sort of the fairies that Lavinia World makes. I have used those a couple times as well. I think this one might have been a gift. It was a gift. And then the other thing that they have, and I have a heron. I'd like to try the heron one day too. The other thing that I have used are these masks for making hills and mountains and such. So that, like, when we add our bunny rabbit to this, I don't want him to look like he's floating in air. So I can use one of these little masks and make a ground for him to be standing on. And I think I will use some of the lavender. I'll make a little lavender field down there on the bottom and put the small bunnies, and I know I call them bunnies, but they're hares. They're all cute. Oh, I need a longer one. And let's see, let's add some. I don't know if I have a purple. My VersaFine Clair inks are very limited. I only have a few of those. So the difference between Lavinia World stamps and, say, our Stampin' Up stamps. Our Stampin' Up stamps are created with an image that you can color, or they have a nice defined outline. See, I'm going to put my bunny. What's a big bunny? All right. That you can color and add detail to. Lavinia stamps, at least the ones that I have, and there may be more because it's not like I have a ton. These are silhouette stamps. And so these create just a nice solid background. I should have this paper under here because I want to go off the edge. I have backgrounds on everything. And then I do have a brown pine cone. So that was in Twilight. That's kind of a bluish color. And I do have a pine cone, which I'm going to do for my hair. Oh, almost missed his paw. And just like in our normal ink stamping, I'm going to let this sit on the paper for a second to absorb. It's not like we're just stamping a signature. Oh, my alcohol ink kind of shows through that a little bit. I'll have to try our markers maybe and see if I can color over Mr. Rabbit and fill that in. That's okay. It's experiment day, right? We're playing. Oh, I was going to add some of these little things too. These ones I had not used yet. Obviously, good Lord. My goodness. A little bit rough to use, maybe because I've had them sitting there for a long time. I'm going to do those in sort of a red. It's called Chianti, since I have red in the background. And so now our bunny is surrounded by our little flowers, but he does look kind of like he's floating on the air there. So maybe we'll use pine cone and give him a little bit of ground to stand on. And if you don't have any kind of a stencil or a mask or anything like this, you can always just tear a piece of paper. So your natural instinct would be to lay this on here and then start adding some ink. Your ink is going to go above the mask and cover up your stamped image. So really what we need to do is turn this upside down and find an area. Let's see, I don't want big mountains. I feel like I'm missing one of those. And then we need, I prefer using blending brushes. This is brown, nope, green. I know a couple of them, my little color tabs have fallen off or broken. Brown. My ink's getting a little wet yet. let's just give a little bit of a grounding here. For Bunny, who's sitting in a little bit of a field. And then you would be able to add this to a card base or cut out the section that you want. If you don't like, I do like the sky background, but if you didn't want that blue on there, you could cut your card print down and add that to a base. How about I guess I cut it the full size of a card. Oh, I think I did, didn't I? 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So, let's see. Oh, I am going to have to cut a little bit of that off the top, and I didn't want to. Oh, I like my sky. Or, because I can't cut the bunny's feet off. Well, we can add to that. We can add some more sky. Add a little bit more blue up there. We'll just blend in some blue ink. Seems like on my blue brush. Blue. And where'd that twilight go? There it is. We'll add a little bit more blue to the sky. This is one of those evenings, you know, red sky at night, sailor's delight. A little bit of red in the sky. Ooh, yes, my hands do work sometimes. He's kind of cute. And this is a perfect spot to stamp a greeting. That's on Misty Moonlight cardstock. Might also look pretty on a craft cardstock base. Or a cinnamon cider. Craft to be pretty. I think I like it on the blue. And quite honestly, I would just add a little greeting right there. And make that a card. So there's an hour's worth of playing with alcohol ink, and we have managed to make a few pretty cool backgrounds. Get a piece of clean paper so that we can see them. This is the one that we did the print off of. It was the pink and yellow one with the little foil design, and the blue and green foily one. Not bad. This one's really pretty. I'm very happy with that. I would honestly, like I said, I would die cut a little image and add to that. I probably would make a 5x7 card. I just enjoy that one. That's absolutely my favorite, although I like this one too. So that's our playtime today with alcohol ink, and I hope it gave you some ideas anyways. And you can, like I said, you can go out there and visit Lavinia Stamps and maybe get some ideas if you like fairies and magical kingdom type images. And don't forget, you can mix and match all your products, of course. You know, I'll be using my Stampin' Up stuff and adding to these as well. So, remember, I'll be back on YouTube Monday at 10 o'clock. And that is our Stampin' Up day. And I want to use on Monday... Oh, I buried it because I had to hurry up and do a sympathy card. Here. Sentimental Swirls. This is what I want to play with on Monday. So join me Monday at 10 here. Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I'll be back with my Alice in Wonderland journal that I'm continuing to work on, but we will also work with that on Wednesday. And you all have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for